what's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, then welcome to our little corner of the internet. Today we're going to be watching a video titled "The Iran War Situation is Crazy," told by her. So without further ado, let's see what this video is about.
So what happened? Well, a few weeks ago, our government had a "that's so Raven" premonition. They had a vision and they saw into the future. They saw that Iran was going to attack Israel. So we went ahead and attacked Iran. Now we're in some bullshit war. No, I am not joking. That's basically what happened. Despite the Pentagon saying there was no proof Iran was going to attack, it came to us in a dream. Source: we made it the f*** up. Now, there are many reasons floating around for this.
Really? Didn't Iran, weren't they already kind of at war before this?
War. Israel, China, Russia, oil, Iran being 2 weeks away from having a nuclear bomb for the past 40 years, bringing democracy to Iran, and many other things, and we can discuss those things. Maybe it's all those things at the same time. But there is one thing I feel is just not getting enough attention. And that is the many people in our government who believe in a literal doomsday prophecy about this war, and are possibly pushing our president to take the necessary steps to make it happen. No, I am not joking. No, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is not the Candace Owens channel. This is a real thing, and we gotta talk about it. Now, I know I keep saying the next video is going to be a slop video. I know, I'm sorry, but things just keep happening. But that's okay, it will be over quick, and then we can get to the more important issues, like making fun of women on TikTok. So in this video, we will talk about this f***ass war. We will discuss these strange characters who—
This is like me on YouTube right now. In a moment, we'll have the barriers, but for now, there's some stuff happening. There's some stuff going on that we need to talk about.
Who are encouraging it, the doomsday cult they belong to, and I will crash out a little bit. Okay.
Mood.
A lot of it. The Iran war is an extremely hot topic that affects literally everything, from the stock market to gas prices to possible World War III. It feels like I wake up every morning and like 5 major historical events have happened while I was sleeping overnight. So it's pretty hard to keep up with the news lately. And that's why for 5 years now, I have been using today's sponsor, Ground News. So let's quickly give them a shout out before we get into this video, shall we? Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a fun mission accomplished. Happy day 24 of the special 2-week military operation, everybody. We did it! Mission accomplished. I feel like every day I wake up and Trump is like, we won. And then something else blows up. And then again, he's like, we won. And then we're back at war, but it's not a war. But we won the war. Hey, maybe it will be over by the time this video uploads, because apparently Iran wants to talk to JD Vance. JD Vance is apparently the peacemaker here. Imagine the Iran war. Imagine possible World War III even. In the hands of a Shoe0nHead fan. We're all gonna die. People word for word, bar for bar, repeating the NPC talking points that we heard during the Iraq war. This Middle Eastern country is building weapons of mass destruction. They hate America. We're gonna bring them democracy. It's all the same shit. It's all the same people pushing for this shit. Only this time we have social media, and we are seeing war propaganda from all sides being debunked right in front of our eyes. Social media has truly been the worst thing that has ever happened to the government. Imagine getting away with decades and decades of propaganda now being debunked in real time by people called Pee Poo Poo 69. Brutal. Sorry, I have to white balance my camera. I'm using... It's story time! I'm gonna be the new Miss...
She has so much energy. There's so much going on. I love her, but what is going on? What?
Camera. I'm using... It's story time! I'm gonna be the new Miss Rachel. Today's number is 7, and we're gonna talk about Tower 7! Anyway, I'm not the kind of person that's oh, I hope Iran wins. That's I saw people saying that, that is psychotic. I don't want to go down with the USS Great Satan, you know what I mean? If we're in a war, I want to win the war. I just don't understand why there has to be a war. We know regime change doesn't work. We've tried this already. It never works. We always make shit worse. We're not the world police. There are so many people all over the world suffering, but our priority as America is to take care of Americans. And the American people are suffering. And now we're asking for $200 billion for war. $200 billion. Notice nobody's like, who's gonna pay for that? When it's shit like war, but when it's for your mom's diabetes medication, it's pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. $200 billion while American situations have not gotten any better. In fact, they're just going to get worse now. Everything is going to get more expensive, but that's okay, apparently. That's okay. That's not a concern.
The U.S. economy is fundamentally sound, and that if it were to be extended, it wouldn't really disrupt the U.S. economy very much at all. It would hurt consumers, and we'd have to think about, if that continued, what we would have to do about that. But that's like really the last of our concerns right now.
Consumers.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it is going to raise prices all over the world, but if it did work on the long run, though, would it make a good difference? I mean, it would take away a threat, but
consumers, that's what we are to these people. Just good little obedient bug people, gonna go see a Marvel movie, maybe buy a Labubu, eat a little Dubai chocolate. We have no soul, no lives, no families to take care of. We are just consumers. And when we can't take care of those families, you know what their solution is? What's their solution? Take fewer trips to Starbucks.
no.
If I say what I am thinking, I will be banned off YouTube, so I will simply be silent. Gas is gonna be like $1 billion, but that's okay, guys. Short-term pain, long-term gain.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term.
Oh my goodness, do they make all the news speak the same thing? Like, he didn't even know what he was saying. Look at his face.
With long-term gain.
Wait, no. This one? Someone was like reading it.
For the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Look at his face with long-term gain.
Short-term pay.
And he says short-term pay for a long-term. Don't even know. Do they just speak like the same script, or what is going on?
For a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain.
Short-term pain for American consumers.
Short-term is highly outweighed of the long-term benefits.
Some short-term pain for the long-term gain.
What in the NPCS is this?
Yes.
It is your patriotic American duty to unplug the TVs in your parents' and grandparents' house right now. Destroy their satellite dishes. Log them out of Facebook. It is up to us to stop the boomers from sending the Zoomers to another war in the Middle East. The amount of people who were anti-regime change war, like last Thursday, who have completely 180'd is fucking insane. I literally have no theory of mind for being that hyper partisan brained. Like, a lot of these people are just like totally for this now because it's Trump doing it. Some of you are cattle. Some of you are weak. You are submissive and breedable. The only politician I simp for is Huey Long, and that's because he's dead and can't disappoint me. The worst part about this whole war thing is not the death and destruction and possible economic collapse and nuclear fallout, but the fact that it's good for the Democrats. They will probably win midterms, and if things get worse, they will probably win 2028 too. Without learning any lesson, without changing at all, they will literally run on Orange Man bad and win. I am tired of politics. I am tired of voting. Take away the 19th Amendment. I don't want it. I don't want it. The men can have it. The men can deal
What is the 19th Amendment?
with it. I'm done. I'm tired of voting for pee-pee or poo-poo and always getting diarrhea. I'm done. The end. End of video. Sorry. Mommy's not mad. She's just disappointed. Anyway, like I said, there are many stated reasons behind this war. One of the things people blame this war on a lot is Israel. Many people believe that Iran was not an immediate threat to us, and that this is just another conflict that Israel is dragging us into, making us fight their war for them. Because of this and everything that's happened in Gaza, Israel's PR is in the toilet. Polls are showing Israel is becoming extremely unpopular, especially with young people. It's getting so bad that the Israeli government literally had to pay internet influencers to say good things about them. No, I'm not kidding. This is a real thing that happened. It was filed with the US Department of Justice. They undisclosed paid a bunch of YouTubers, TikTokers, Twitter personalities to run defense for them last year, and they are...
That's so wild. Imagine one day I just came on YouTube, guys, and was like, Israel is a great place with great people and greatness, and I just love it when I don't know anything about Israel.
Most likely still doing that today. Imagine losing the internet PR war to 20-year-olds with anime avatars making TikTok edits of Jeffrey Epstein and Agartha. And listen, I know many people are tired of everybody blaming Israel for everything. Like, oh, I stubbed my toe this morning, it was Israel. They associate criticism of Israel with people like Hassan Piker or Candace Owens. They are just tired, and I get it. Hopefully I can bring some nuance into this discussion. Not everything is Israel's fault, but when it comes to the Middle East in particular, when it comes to American foreign policy, Israel is extremely relevant. This is a historical fact, and if we are going to be attached to the hip to this country, we should absolutely be allowed to talk about it without a bitch in our ear calling it anti-Semitism. It is 2026. We are done with the thought-terminating buzzwords. We are done with the ists and the isms. These don't work anymore. It's not racist to criticize Black Lives Matter. It's not sexist to criticize feminism. It is not anti-Semitic to criticize a foreign country. And frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing you can do for Jewish people right now is conflate the nation of Israel with Jewish people as a whole. Like, what are you doing? Oh, you don't want the world to end in some kind of nuclear holocaust? What are you? An anti-Semite? It's like when there's legislation to give pedophiles the death penalty.
There's so many words that I don't know right now.
And people come out like, this is transphobic. It's like, what do you mean by that? It's good to question mainstream narratives. That's why this entire channel was created in the first place. We are here to criticize the media and the government that has a history of lying to us, especially on topics like this. If you don't think that's totally valid and normal, and you think I'm an anti-Semite for this, well, I have been called racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic for the past 15 years. Honestly, what is one more to add to the list? When this all initially popped off, one of my first tweets about this was this. Many people were confused as to exactly what I was talking about, so let me explain it simply. There are people in our government right now who believe in a biblical prophecy about Israel. Pete Hegseth, Lindsey Graham, Mike Pompeo, Ted Cruz, Mike Johnson, Mike Huckabee, and many, many others believe a massive war surrounding the Middle East will bring Jesus Christ back. They want this. To them, this is the good ending. We'll
What?
all be safe.
What? Is that real? Is that true? That cannot be a logical reason to have a war. Wild.
Saved. Great. Awesome. Unfortunately, many Americans and many people all around the world will die in a giant nuclear war. Not great. Bad, even. This particular religion is called Dispensationalism, a type of evangelical Christianity that became popular in the 20th century. That's right, today we are talking about the EQ, the evangelical question. Evangelicals are one of the largest religious groups in America, and they are a huge, important voter bloc. Important detail to remember. What you have to understand is evangelical Christianity is absolutely f***ing obsessed with the end times. This isn't just like an offhand thing that's mentioned in the Bible and they bring up sometimes. No, this is like their whole f***ing thing. It's like all their talks, their sermons, their books. Basically, they are extremely horny for the end of the world. And many of those people are in the president's ear right now.
Strike and strike and strike and strike and strike and...
What? Wait. I'm like thinking because you know, I've been baptized. I don't, you know, I'm not the type of person right now to go like to church on Sundays and all of that. You know, I'm not very religious, I wouldn't say. But I think I was brought up with this religion in general, you know? And I haven't like really thought or seen that. But I might be wrong. I might be so wrong though. I think that's it. In Finnish it's called evankelis-luterilainen. If someone knows what that means. But
are in the president's ear right now.
Strike and strike and strike and strike and strike.
Is that what I am? I'm not even sure.
And strike and strike and strike. For angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now. Hamanda ata ata raka teda baka sanda ata ambo osa kata rite eke banda ata rite.
That schizo is Paula White Cain, Trump's current spiritual advisor. Like most evangelicals, she considers Israel her spiritual home, thinks Christians should be mandated to go to Israel in order to go to heaven, and believes that backing Israel is a biblical mandate. Now, what the f am I talking about? What do these people mean by biblical mandate? Well, thanks to the Scofield Bible, a version of the Bible that placed little like notes next to everything that explained the biblical text, evangelicals believe it is—
How is she so comfortable talking about topics like this? I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm not even the one talking.
their duty to protect Israel. You're probably thinking like, okay, so what? Like, we have overlapping interests with Israel. Who cares if these evangelicals want to protect Israel, right? Well, there's a little more to it. Basically, the evangelical dispensationalist belief goes like this. Step 1. The Jewish people return to the land of Israel. Step 2. Israel becomes the main character in a massive war. Step 3. Global destruction called the Tribulation occurs. Step 4. Armageddon happens. And step 5. Jesus Christ returns. Behold, the fruits of Martin Luther. To get my biases out of the way a little bit, I was born and raised Catholic. Baptized, communion, confirmation, catechism class for years, all that stuff. I stopped caring for a while and had like a edgy atheist stage as a teenager. Then I was agnostic for a while, and then in 2020, when I moved back home during COVID, I returned to Catholicism. Needless to say, I am comfortable with identifying as Catholic again today. I don't talk about this because it's not relevant, but it's relevant here. I have many Protestant friends, a few are evangelical. This isn't to like hate on them, even though I'm gonna be making jokes, but it's just to shine a light on a heavy bias some people in power may have towards the Middle East. If a bunch of Catholics were in power pushing for us to go to war for the Vatican or something, that would also be a conversation worth having, but that is not happening right now. And if you're wondering why Ted Cruz suddenly out of nowhere—
I feel like I respect all religions, but when it starts affecting other people in masses, I feel like religion should be something that, you know, is personal, that you believe, that makes you be a better person, that makes you, you know, that gives something to your life, something that you can also share with others that share the same beliefs, but it doesn't necessarily have to, you know, start a world war. Just saying.
Worth having, but that is not happening right now. And if you're wondering why Ted Cruz suddenly out of nowhere is sharing like 10,000 word AI slop Twitter essays about how Catholics are parasites, it's because he's butthurt that Catholics don't believe in the same doomsday prophecy about Israel as him and other evangelicals do. Catholics are not religiously obligated to support Israel. Same with Orthodox and honestly, most branches of Christianity. Evangelical Protestants, on the other hand, don't know how to fucking read and think the modern state of Israel is the same Israel mentioned in the Bible. This would be like the fry cook at McDonald's being named Jesus and you falling to your knees and worshiping him as the savior and then blowing up the world for him.
I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate. And I've worked every day to do that. Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded.
I had no idea that the government and like there's so much political. Well, actually, that's so stupid of me to say. Now that I think of it, I was gonna say that I didn't know that it relies so much on religion and there's so much religion in political things, but that's so dumb of me to say because religion has always been one of the biggest reasons for wars and for, you know, all of this. But in a modern world, I think when it comes to politics and everything, it should be purely logical more than in the beliefs realm of things. But that would only work if everyone was the same, you know? Does that make sense?
Support Israel, but
Probably
number
not.
two.
Hold on.
No,
Hold
no,
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel.
To think all of this could have been avoided if we simply named Israel Sand, New Jersey. Dispensationalists take the Bible extremely literally. They're basically like the autism of Christianity, which is why so many Protestant evangelicals in our government are Zionists. Now, let's discuss the word Zionist, because I know that word like makes some of you cringe, and I don't blame you, because it's kind of just like thrown around so haphazardly today. It basically means nothing anymore. There are Zionists of all races and religions. Not all Jewish people are Zionists. Not all Zionists are Jewish. Most Zionists in our government are not Jewish. So don't let them ever guilt trip you into thinking you're anti-Semitic for criticizing people like Ted Cruz. Also, it's not anti-Semitic to criticize the Jewish people in our government either, like Randy Fine. Bro is a freak. There is a reason the first time I shook Netanyahu's hand, I did not wash it until I could touch the heads of my children. What the f***? Anyway, contrary to popular belief, Zionism does not mean when you like passively support Israel as like a good ally to have in the Middle East. That is not what being a Zionist is. It's like a whole ideology. It's like a movement. Now, one of the major characters who believes in this like doomsday lore anime is Lindsey Graham. If you don't know who Lindsey Graham is, you've probably seen him on Fox News a few times. He's been on like every single night the past 3 weeks. To make it short, he is the senator of South Carolina, and he is a notorious neocon war hawk. He has never met a war he didn't like. He is basically the real-life version of the Holden Blood Feast meme. That is Lindsey Graham. So Lindsey, girl's name by the way, believes that defending Israel is God's will and has said things like,
if America pulls the plug on Israel, God will pull the plug on us.
And I wouldn't blame anybody if they assumed he...
So she's saying that the Israel nowadays is not even the Israel that the Bible is talking about and nobody has clocked it yet?
Was the senator of Tel Aviv and not the senator of South Carolina. When his own state was hit with a massive hurricane, bro said this.
Elon Musk for that. You know, I've been going all over South Carolina like most people. I hadn't slept much. But look what's going on in Israel. They're running out of ammunition in Israel. We have to help our friends.
The man even outright says he would support a foreign country over the citizens of America.
All the anti-Semites to all the isolationists, I don't believe. Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day.
The anti-Semites and the isolationists? The isolation, saying you aren't with Americans and are with a foreign country is so fucking insane for a United States politician to say. How is this guy still in office? This is like borderline treasonous.
Israel and the United States, you just wait to see what comes in the next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks meaning what?
We're going to blow the hell out of these people.
I'm sorry. We're gonna what? It's not war if the balls don't touch. Okay, so Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz are weird, American last freaks who believe this doomsday shit, but like, who cares, right? There's a bunch of those guys, like, who gives a f what they believe? Well, here's the issue. Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham might be the little birdies in Trump's ear pushing us to do this war.
I urged the president to launch this attack. As you noted, I was with him pretty much the entire day on Friday before the attack launched on Saturday. Pretty much the whole time he was asking me what I thought we should do on Iran.
And Lindsey Graham apparently had direct contact with Netanyahu. To help make the case on Iran, Graham traveled several times to Israel in recent weeks, meeting with members of the country's intelligence agency. "They'll tell me things our own government won't tell me," he said. He spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, coaching him on how to lobby the president for action. Netanyahu showed the president intelligence that persuaded Trump to go ahead, Graham said. Ah yes, Netanyahu, someone we should definitely listen to when it comes to this subject.
There is no question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever.
No question whatsoever. It's crazy how I literally warned about this happened. Like months ago, I literally warned the administration, keep away from Lindsey Graham. Trump, listen to me. Wait, Trump doesn't watch this shit. Vance, listen to me. Get people like Lindsey Graham far away from anyone in power right now. This little Venezuela stunt was cute, but we are not touching any other countries. We are not touching the Middle East, especially. No more Middle East. We all have Middle East fatigue. I just need to say, I don't like being correct about this stuff. I would rather be wrong. I would love nothing more than to be f***ing wrong about everything. If we don't put boots on the ground, if we don't create a new forever war, that would be the best thing ever. You can come back to this video and say, na boo boo, you were wrong. And I would be like, hell yeah. Fantastic. That would be wonderful. I will personally write a handwritten letter apologizing to Cat Turd for not trusting the plan. I don't know what the f is gonna happen. All I know is I saw a commercial for the military with white men in it. So, not a good sign. And right now, as I am making this video, our good friend Lindsey Graham is talking about putting boots on the ground.
Here's what I tell President Trump. Keep it up for a few more
Oh no.
weeks. Take Cargill Island, where all of the resources they have to...
I honestly see it not very probable, but I don't know anymore.
Keep it up for a few more weeks. Take Cargill Island, where all of the resources they have to produce oil. Control that island. Let this regime die on a vine.
Is this going to, though, take Cargill Island? Is it going to involve U.S. troops on the ground?
We did Iwo Jima. We can do this.
We did Iwo Jima. We can do this. What the f***? For those unaware, Iwo Jima was one of the most brutal battles of World War II. About as many Americans died in that battle than all of the Iraq and Afghanistan war combined. This guy's a f***ing freak, dude. Also, who the f*** is we? We? You enlisting, Lindsey Graham? Bitch.
Well, we have the best chance in 2,000 years when Iran is neutralized.
I'm sorry, I thought this war started in 1979, when the Iranian Revolution overthrew the puppet government we installed in the 1950s. But I guess I was wrong. This war actually started 2,000 years ago. That's right, it's not about weapons of mass destruction. It's not about bringing democracy to Iran. Turns out we're fighting an ancient desert war. Exactly what MAGA voted for. Another factor that is relevant to these warmongers banging on the war drum is, of course, money. Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham receive a ton of money from AIPAC. Many politicians in our government are paid by AIPAC, Democrat and Republican, which is why you probably don't see a ton of anti-Iran war stuff coming from even the Democrats, when they would usually jump on literally anything to make Orange Man look bad. The only thing Democrats and Republicans can agree on is protecting pedophiles and war. Great. AIPAC stands for the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Now, you might sometimes see people bring up like AIPAC money, like, oh, this guy takes AIPAC money. And maybe some of you don't really understand like why that's a big deal. So I'm going to explain it in a nuanced way you can hopefully understand. The reason—
My brain is like blowing away by this video. There's so much information and also I don't know
why people don't like big money being involved in politics in general is because it can literally purchase the way a politician will govern. For example, if a billionaire CEO of a health insurance company donates to a politician, you can bet that politician is probably not going to advocate for things like socialized healthcare or anything like that. And if a candidate takes a lot of money from something like AIPAC, that is a sign they will probably have a heavy bias toward war in the Middle East. That's why people prefer when a candidate only takes like small donations from voters. There's no corporations, billionaires, or foreign governments pulling the strings there. Like how I take money from you, the people. I am funded directly by Big Simp. Some politicians get paid a lot by AIPAC, and some politicians sell out for the price of a Big Mac and fries. Yikes. Weird fact, one of the top donors to AIPAC was actually the creator of OnlyFans who died recently. He gave like millions of dollars to AIPAC, and AIPAC gives millions of dollars to the people in Congress. So in a weird way, our government was partially funded by OnlyFans whores. Checks out. But you gotta understand, a lot of these guys would do it for free. Hypothetical. One country must no longer exist. A, the United States. B, Israel. Choose. Read Revelations and report back. When people talk about the separation of church and state, this is the shit they're talking about. What the f***? Like, what do you mean there's an American politician saying he would rather the nation he allegedly serves be destroyed?
On Twitter.
Over evangelical Wakanda. Get this guy out of here! I actually responded to this guy, and we had a little Twitter fight, and he just told me to read the Bible. There are people in charge of our country right now who believe we have to go to war for a biblical prophecy. That is a giant, major conflict of interest. We need to be asking people like Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham, Mike Huckabee, Mike Johnson. We need to be asking all these evangelicals in office the same exact question. Also, I just checked how much this guy gets paid from AIPAC, and whoa, buddy! Okay, so here's where it gets schizophrenic as f***. While I am telling you this, please keep in mind, I don't believe this. This is what they believe. Because as I was writing this, I felt like a crazy person. With the evangelical doomsday lore, there is something called the Third Temple. In Judaism, there were two temples. There was the first temple, built around 10th century BC, and the second temple, rebuilt around the exile. And the third temple is this idea that a new Jewish temple will be built on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem to help usher in end times. Also, interesting side note here, Jewish people, especially Orthodox Chabad Jews, who are basically like the evangelicals of Judaism, believe building this temple will not bring on the end times, but the Messianic Age, otherwise known as the Golden Age, where everyone will live under Noahide laws, where the concept of worshiping Jesus would basically be illegal. Meanwhile, the evangelical end times, the Jews will convert to Christianity. So Christians and Jews are both looking to build this thing for very different reasons that do not complement each other at all, yet they are both working together to do it, and both think they will be right in the end. Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of War, has openly talked about rebuilding the Third Temple.
And there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible.
Man, we just want affordable homes and groceries.
Yeah.
What is this shit? And Pete Hegseth, according to the president, is apparently the guy who does not want the war to end.
I said, Pete and General Raisin Kane, I think this thing's going to be settled very soon. Here they go. Oh, that's too bad. Pete didn't want it to be settled.
So, what is so bad about rebuilding this temple? If none of this is true, like, who gives a shit? Like, freedom of religion.
This is so wild. I feel like I need to go through everyone who's in the American government to like understand everything truly and what their position is and what they do. But it's kind of concerning to have this brought into this, you know? And exactly to have them close to the president and to be able to brainwash in a way.
Well, here's the issue. If the goal is to trigger a massive war in order to get Jesus to return, they will do shit to make that happen. They will want to destroy and destabilize the Middle East, and they will use your sons and daughters to do it for them.
I go back to South Carolina, I'm asking them to send their sons and daughters over to the Mideast.
Wow, the childless warmonger with no stake in the future and moles on his ass wants our children to go fight and die in another pointless war? That last thing is true, by the way, about the moles. Look it up. Actually, don't. You'll regret it. Don't. Also, the area they want to build this temple thing on already has, like, a big mosque on it called the Al-Aqsa Mosque. I don't know how to fucking say that. And destroying this site would have, like, devastating consequences for the Middle East and for us. Not that they care. Just keep an eye out if that Al-Aqsa Mosque gets conveniently destroyed by a rogue Iranian missile or something in the upcoming days of this war. So yes, it is a holy war. We are being non-consensually dragged into a holy war by 3 different sets of desert people, just as I started to get my life together. Now here is the important question. Could all this doomsday talk these politicians are saying out loud just be religious pandering to the massive evangelical population that votes for the GOP to get them to vote for a war that is ultimately about, you know, like land and weapons and territory or whatever the f***? Yes, absolutely yes. It could all be bullshit. They might not actually believe it. I mean, a bunch of politicians, like, they're going to islands and, like, rape kids. You think these people believe in God? But remember, like I said, many do. Sometimes people really do believe in things and they will kill and die for them. Or, you know, make you go kill and die for them. I know it's hard for people to understand this. They understand it perfectly well when it comes to radical Islam, when Muslims...
This is like a perspective of the war that I've never heard, because before this we've only watched kind of like just like technical videos about like what assets each country has and like what exactly is going on, and not really the reason, like deeper reason behind it, minus that they didn't want Iran to continue with the nuclear plan and basically make Iran incapable of war. But I never ever even thought of like that there would be this type of side to all of it.
Muslims will like blow themselves up for Allah or whatever the f. Yet when it comes to other religions, like they can't really comprehend this. They understand it perfectly well when it comes to radical Islam, when Muslims will like blow themselves up for Allah or whatever the f. Yet when it comes to other religions, like they can't really comprehend it. Just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean that people who do won't do crazy shit. Like, because they believe in something. US commanders across more than 30 military bases told troops the Iran war was part of God's plan and linked it to Armageddon. A commander said Trump was anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon. The Military Religious Freedom Foundation says it has received over 110 similar complaints describing the war as biblically sanctioned and a sign of the Christian end times. So here's the question. Does Trump believe in this? No. No, I don't think so. But the people around him do, and they talk about it all the time. And after Trump was like a millimeter away from being brutally and horrifically assassinated on live TV, probably not good or healthy that he has people like Mike Huckabee in his ear, the United States ambassador to Israel, saying this in regards to bombing Iran. Mr. President, God spared you in Butler, Pennsylvania, to be the most consequential president in a century, maybe ever. The decision on your shoulders, I would not want to...
And that's made with AI as well. Mr. President conspired you in Butler, PA to be the most consequential president in a century. Double hyphen. Whenever I see a double hyphen, you already know.
...be made by anyone else. You have many voices speaking to you, sir, but there is only one voice that matters. His voice. I am your appointed servant in this land, and I am available for you. But I do not try to get in your presence often because I trust your instincts. No president in my lifetime has been in a position like yours, not since Truman in 1945. I don't reach out to persuade you, only to encourage you. I believe you will hear from heaven, and that voice is far more important than mine or anyone else's. You sent me to Israel to be your eyes, ears, and voice, and make sure our flag flies above our embassy. My job is to be the last one to leave. I will not abandon this post. Our flag will not come down. You did not seek this moment. This moment sought you. It is my honor to serve you. Mike Huckabee. Not since Truman in 1945. What did he mean by this, chat? In conclusion, evangelical Wakanda is an interesting aspect to all of this to consider. It might not be the only cause of the war. I don't think it is. I think there's many different reasons. But I think it is pretty important to consider the fact that there are people in power right now who are very close to the President of the United States who may be a teeny itsy bitsy bit biased when it comes to war in the Middle East. Also, draft Lindsey Graham. That is all. Thank you for your attention to this matter. If you guys want a completely uncensored version of this video with no bleeps, donate to my Patreon, link down below. All Patreons get a raw version of each video a day before. Become a member of Big Simp today. Also, big shout out to Ground News again for sponsoring this video. It was hard to get a sponsor for this video. I was about to do it with no sponsor, and Ground News was like, sure, we'll do it. Talk about whatever you want. Like, that's based. That's based. Go give them some love. And I will see you guys next time with a slop video. I promise.
Oh my goodness, what a wild video, guys. I did not expect that at all going into this video, and I didn't I didn't even think of it didn't even occur to me that there could be a side like this to a war. I didn't even think about like how the president can be kind of, you know, his decisions can be depending on people that surround him, you know. It's just a weird concept, and definitely should not be happening today, I don't think. But wow, either way, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.